See our women walking on. Happy Women's Day. Back again as a voice for women and children. On a sensitization walk to raise awareness for International Women's Day. I love this.
Happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
How can we reform the laws for gender equality when our law reform commission looks like this? As in, I'm shocked. Look at the building. Keep working hard, man. I rarely walk on the street, guys, but it's so weird to me to see how neglected this building is, and most of our government buildings are. It's Federal Secretariat. When you work for the NGO, your day doesn't end after the rally, so I have to head back to the office now. It wasn't even a rally, what was it? Just like a walk. Yeah, awareness raising walk, and we actually needed it because so many people didn't know that it was Women's Day today. International Women's Day, 8th of March. Every year it's that day. I don't know if you guys know about the UN Observance Days, but basically the United Nations, that's basically, you know, the organization of all the countries in the world that have signed up to the United Nations Treaty anyways, agreed on some special days that they would celebrate different things. So there's Women's Day, there's Children's Day, there's Day of the African Child, there's even Day of the Toilet, there's Day of Water, just things that, you know, are tied to people's rights. There's 16 days of activism, there's Day Against Discrimination, all those things though. So yeah, when you get into the development field, you have to, well, especially for me that works with FIDA, thank you, bye, we learn to celebrate those days and stuff. So in fact, I think in the development field in general, you celebrate the UN days because those are like the significant days for you. And I got a question asking what it's like working in the development field in Nigeria, and I would say that it's interesting. I had work experience in England. I worked in 2 NGOs while I was doing my undergrad, and that was victim support. So I basically used to call like victims of crime and just speak to them and support them, maybe give them like practical information that they may need, or just give them emotional support. Like sometimes people just want to talk to someone. So I worked in that, and then I also worked in Redress, which is an NGO that's for torture. That was during my master's, so I didn't actually technically work with them. I worked with them as part of my project. So yeah, you get to see, I've noticed that there's a difference, because first things first, in an international NGO, the first thing you do once you sign up to start working for them is get trained. Like, but with FIDA, like, or let me not say with FIDA, but with most Nigerian NGOs, you kind of just are thrown into the job and you just learn on the go. That was one thing I found that, you know, was a big difference. Another thing is funding. Obviously in Nigeria there's not a lot of funding, so most of what we do is look for international donors. And while I was working in those NGOs, maybe because I wasn't proper staff, but we never used to talk about funding in anything that we'll do. But in Nigeria, everything you talk about, funding must be raised. What else is there? I would say that they don't really know how to those are really the two main differences I can see right now. The fact that there isn't that much training unless somebody has come out, right, and sponsored the training for you. I don't think most NGOs do their own training. Even though AFIDA, I got trained, but that was actually funded by one of our donors. So yeah, I think NGOs don't necessarily think of training here unless like the donor insists on it. And then funding as well is also a big constraint for the NGOs here. Training, funding, and then the impact is something that I feel like I'm not really seeing. Like, obviously I work for an NGO that what we do is provide legal representation for indigent women and children. So maybe because the court systems take so long, like the criminal justice system in Nigeria is just a very slow process. So I feel like, you know, we do cases, but I never get to hear the end result. Like the end result may be in 4 or 5 years. It's like from one adjournment to the next. Maybe people that they're NGOs, what they do is just like, you know, take food to orphanages and stuff. They may see their impact, but you know, I feel like I don't really see the impact here. But even with victim support, when I was working with victim support, I would immediately see the impact of what I was doing, because you would get like feedback messages from the people that you're supporting that, oh yes, I really appreciated this service, the emotional support was good enough for me, or the practical support was good enough for me. So those are really the three main things I'll say about you know, life in the development field. I don't know if I'm missing anything because I didn't really plan it. As you can see, I don't really have notes I'm reading from, but I think if you're considering it, my advice is to know, because there's so much to do, like that we need so much development in Nigeria. So pick an aspect of the work that you would want to focus on. Like you can be doing education, you can be doing health, you can be doing law, you can be doing reproductive rights, you can be doing anything you can think of that has a human right attached to it. Like, so be specific about what field you want to go into, and then just now start building from there. A big part of this work as well is networking. Like you need to know people, because you never know who you could partner with. So let's say right now I'm a legal based NGO, but there's another organization called IPAS that's focused on reproductive rights. What if the reproductive rights of one of our clients has been violated? We need to collaborate. So it's like you have to keep an open mind and also be open to networking with people and collaboration, because you can't do it alone. As I've said, there's so much to be done that you need to realize the value in networking and collaboration. Can I think of anything else? Yeah, so be specific what field you're trying to go into. Be ready for network and collaboration. Do your research as well, and always take a grassroots approach, or should I call it a beneficiary-centered approach. Don't just do what you think will be best for the people that you're trying to help. Do what people are showing you, or your beneficiaries are showing you that this is what they actually need, not what you think that you need, not what you think that they need. So yeah, I think that's everything I can think of for now. Hopefully I'm still fresh, so I'm definitely not in a position to be giving advice, but hopefully with time, you know, and experience, I will be able to give you guys more advice on what it's like working in development fields. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed seeing a snippet of Women's Day, and I hope you enjoyed the International Women's Day series as well. So lots of love. Transform yourself and transform the life of others around you.
My style and my thoughts beneath